Hi, I'm Janet Shield Scott, and you're listening to JanetFitBeautyStyle.com, a lifestyle talk guide with expert advice on beauty, fashion, wellness, real estate, entertainment, and fun celebrity secrets. Hello and welcome to each and every one of you. I'm your host, Janet Shield Scott, and I'm glad you've tuned in for another fun and motivating podcast. Today we have a returning guest, author Vanessa Werts. She has a new book titled, now let me get through this, A 30-Day Heart Cleanse for Women, Lies and Love, Cleansing the Heart to Make Room for Radical Love. She's going to take us through a journey where we will be able to cleanse our hearts of negativity, frustration, anger, to make room, as she says, for radical love. But before we get to Vanessa, let's listen to our inspiring words of wisdom. Karma has no menu. You get served what you deserve. Wow, okay. And the next one I like, this is from Vanessa's book. It's also from the Bible. It's one of my father's favorite scriptures who just recently passed. And it's also one of my favorite scriptures because a lot of times we say, why does this happen? But anyway, it's from the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verses 5 and 6. Trust in the Lord with all thy heart, lean not into thy own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct our path. So let's get to Vanessa right after this message. Sports fans, PassPros.com has it all. Baseball, basketball, hockey, and soccer. Get autographs and memorabilia direct from former pro athletes. Don't forget to check out the upcoming events page for special events near you. PassPros.com offers t-shirts, athletic gear, artwork, vintage cards. Log on to PassPros.com. Welcome back to a Janet Shield Scott podcast. Let's go to our guest, author Vanessa Werts. She's a military veteran, an author, speaker, and mother. Vanessa has been featured on Nightline TV, the Dove Network, a host of other major publications and radio shows. But let's welcome Vanessa to our show, a Janet Shield Scott podcast. Hi, Vanessa.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming back. We have, but wait a minute, before we get into anything, I just want to know what's up with the word lies, because that's on both of your books. Does that mean somebody's been lying to you a lot or what? Let's talk, girl. Let's talk about this.
Well, the answer to your question is yes. But it's not just about a person lying to us. It's the world. Sometimes just the way we experience the world is not really accurate for who we are. And so the lies really is getting at every untruth that you've ever been told or believed, whether somebody actually said it to you or if it's just something you heard and just believed to be true because that's what other people are doing.
Okay, so that means that you've covered it in both books. Is there another one coming out with the word lies on the cover?
Well, you know what? The first book was targeted at the lies that men tell and lies that we believe in romantic relationships. That was a novel, and it was kind of, the more fun side of life, and it was an entertaining story, but the focus was the lies that you believe, especially as it relates to romantic relationships. And then this book and the project that we're here to talk about today, those lies are just the lies that you hear in life or that you believe that they really don't speak to who you really are. They don't speak to how life really works. And I use, for example, we've all heard the saying, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That's a lie, So it's not maybe a lie that someone spoke directly to you, but it's a lie that you believe because words do hurt. Yes. They do hurt, yes, and they take a long time to get over.
Yes, because it's just like abuse. People think that physical abuse is bad, but actually They're both words that people say to you are just as powerfully painful as the licks that someone or the blows that you may get in an abusive relationship, whether it's with your mother, your father, your parents, or whoever it may be, or your significant other. So it's important to, like you said, to clear all that up. And that's why you're here. You're here to help cleanse us of our hearts so that we can make room for radical love. Now, what do you mean by that, radical love?
That radical love is, if I had to give a definition of love that anybody could understand, I would call love is radical acceptance. It means that no matter what a person is, what they've done, who they are, that you just accept them. You accept the flaws. You accept, them maybe mistreating you, and you just accept the person. And you want to be accepted. We all want that unconditional love, and we talk about it and we say that we give it, but how often do we really give love that does not have conditions on it? And so that radical love is about a love that does not have any conditions. And I call the definition, I call 1 Corinthians 13 verses 4 through 7 the actual definition that's universal. If we loved in that way, the way God loves us, then every heart would feel that love.
Okay. All right. So why don't you take us through 3 steps of cleansing our heart briefly?
Well, 3 steps, I mentioned 4 in the book. The first step being to forgive. Forgiveness is a huge part of a heart that's broken. Usually there's a grudge that you're holding on to, and from that unforgiveness spins off anger and bitterness and all of that. So forgive, and then pursue love, that love that I just mentioned, that's patient and kind and keeps no record of wrongs and all of that, and that enduring love, pursuing that. And then the third point is celebrate your life. We're always making accomplishments in life, and maybe nobody ever celebrates those things. We always try to do our best in life, and we don't get celebrated by other people. We have to celebrate our own lives and understand who we are fully, without the roles that we play in life and without the hats that we wear in business and in our personal lives. And then that fourth topic that I cover is live on purpose. Once you know who you are, once your heart is cleansed from the forgiveness and you're pursuing love, then you can live on purpose. The fourth topic, live on purpose.
All right. And then you use a lot of scriptures throughout the book. Why is that?
I tell you, I had a really broken past. I dealt with daddy issues like so many women do, but I also was sexually assaulted when I was a teenager by a church leader. And so I spent my childhood pretty unhappy about who I was, not feeling like I was enough. And so I carried that, of course, into adulthood and making decisions from that place. And it's just important to understand that you are enough, that you are enough in life. And the Bible was able to help me to understand, get to the point of true identity, who I am, that I am more than enough, that I'm already accepted. And so those scriptures became the foundation for the heart cleanse, because the
Mhm.
word is alive, the Bible says, and it's able to heal.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I really look at the Bible as a base for my life, and I actually pray on everything. But then you have some people that say, "Oh, well, I don't believe in God," and the book. You really believe what the Bible says? And what do you say to people like that?
I get it. I'd say to them, I get it. If you believe that you are solely responsible for whether you live or die. But I take it to this point right here. I get a little deep sometimes. I say, well, who makes your heart beat? Who plugs your heart in at night and keeps it running while you're asleep? Because you're not up, you're not able to take care of yourself. And when it comes to your organs functioning. So there is a God. First of all, you have to just understand that we all have this oxygen that we breathe. Creation is here, and none of us actually created it. So there's a God, but a lot of times people don't connect um, that there is a God to their own personal life in terms of God caring for them as an individual personally, caring for how they go about their life, and that they are whole people. God created us all, and He created us to be whole people, being able to carry out His plans and purposes. And so I kind of just approach it from that angle of that love place and just trying to share what I believe. And if they don't believe, I get that. But I just believe at some point in our lives, everybody comes to that point of realizing that you're not in control of your life.
And then I noticed that you have a journal that you've added to your book with inspiring quotes. I believe most of them are from the Bible as well. Or tell us why you decided to put the journal in your book.
I believe that when you journal, a lot of times there's things on the inside of you that you don't even realize are there, like thoughts that you have, thoughts of the heart, actually. And when you write down how you're feeling and what you're thinking, and when you're excited, when you journal, you don't even realize what you've said until you go back and look at it. So the journal was put in the book to capture the feelings and emotions as you go through each day and each week of the cleanse. And then maybe you look back over that later. Maybe it's a week later, a month later, to see what you were going through. What were your thoughts as you began to forgive yourself and other people? When you started thinking of love in a different way that, knows no bounds and that's unconditional. What were you thinking at the time? So just really to capture in that moment how you were feeling as you walked through the different steps of the cleanse. So you have something to look back on.
Right. And when we wake up in the morning to start this journey of cleanse or even go to bed at night, because sometimes things happen throughout the day that are out of our control and that can cause anger or frustration. How should we start our and end our day if we're cleansing our hearts?
You should start the day with prayer. Pray for yourself. Pray to have a good day. Say, I bless my day. You can't control what happens in your day, but what happens with this heart cleanse, it brings about a maturity. It gives new perspective. And new perspectives, when you have a different way of looking at maybe even a tragic event. And if there's anything good to glean from it, if there's any promise or any hope to glean from it, it brings about a healing in your life because you no longer struggle with what happened in a way that you don't have control, and you may even be grieving over something. When you look at it from a different perspective, it can change everything. So if you start your day, pray for yourself and pray that you have a good day. And when you end the day, reflect on your day. And if there was something that angered you throughout the day, try to look at it through the lens of forgiveness and love and who you really are. Because most times people speak to us, it doesn't even speak to the person that we really are. They're frustrated in their life, they frustrate you. Or
Mm-hmm.
something happens at work that you can't control, so you get frustrated, you know. But if we look at it from the perspective of that happened today, you know what, tomorrow is going to be a better day. And then end your night on that note.
All right. Now, you mentioned before we started our podcast that you're doing the live videos on Instagram. And I had mentioned to you, I was like, everybody's doing these live videos. But I like, I got to get up and do makeup and hair and all that kind of stuff. And so, anyway, you get up and you do these. What encourages you to get up and do your makeup and get yourself together so that you can do this? Help the people with the journey of cleansing their hearts.
Oh my goodness, Janet. I get up about an hour, probably an hour early, and I've already decided for this 30 days that started the 1st of January and will run the whole month. I got a wig on standby. I got my hair pulled up in a bun, and so I can tie that down at night. I put on lipstick so I don't wash out on camera, and I do my eyebrows and put eyeliner and mascara, and I just hope for the best.
Yeah. Well, I have to say, I have peeped a couple of them, and you are looking good, lady.
Well, thank you.
uh, and I guess my concern is with a beauty license. I want to make sure everything's of perfection, but I hear so many people say, stop waiting for things to be perfect and just do it.
I totally agree. I tell you, it was not an easy decision to do this cleanse in this way, in this big public way where I would be on camera. That's my first time doing Instagram Live, and I didn't really know what I was doing, but I had done my research, and I said, if I don't do it now, when? This book published in November of 2016, I did a media campaign, but I haven't had a chance to put it into practice with someone else where I could facilitate it. And so I said, you know what? The beginning of the year is a perfect time. I had the book, I had notes, and I said, I'm just going to do it. And that's how I got into it. And I did consider the whole fashion and the beauty part of it, but I can't do all that. I can't do an hour's worth of makeup every morning before 7 and then prepare myself mentally.
No, it makes you have more respect for the women on television and the men too, because they wear makeup as well.
So true.
All right, now, where can we find your book? And then also you have a special going on. Tell the listeners about that.
Okay, my book can be found on iBooks. It's at Barnes and Noble. It's at Smashwords. It's on Amazon. Now, at Amazon, it's only in hard copy, but all the other outlets, you'll be able to get it in both hard copy and ebook. Right now, for the month of January, I have a discount. So the ebook can be purchased for 99 cents at iBooks.
Great
at
deal.
Barnes and Noble.
Yeah, great deal.
At Barnes and Noble and at Smashwords, 99 cents for the ebook.
Okay, sounds good. Let the listeners know what your social handles are in case they want to reach out to you. And then also you have a book, a hard copy book that you'd like to give away to the third or fourth, well, say fourth person that emails you. So give us that information.
Okay, I can be reached on Instagram. I am Vanessa Werts. I'm on Facebook, author Vanessa Werts. I'm on Twitter, at Vanessa Werts. I have a website. It's vanessawerts.com. And for the 30-day heart cleanse, you can reach me at 30dayheartcleanse@gmail.com.
Now, at the end of all of my podcasts, or most of them anyway, if there's music, then I'll play music at the end. But when there's not music, I have breathing exercises. They're stress relieving breathing exercises. I used to teach fitness at one time, and I always closed out my class with these breathing exercises. So on the show, I do it, and I have the sound of the ocean in the background and all of that. So I'm going to start with, and I'd like you to participate, where I'm going to say breathe in, the way I normally say it. And then when I say breathe out, you're going to tell the listeners what they need to breathe out, whether it's frustration or negativity. Just use one, no more than 2 words.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
You ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, so let's take a moment as we end this, and we thank Vanessa Werts for coming on to the show. And if you'd like to hear the first podcast we did, it's on Podbean, so you can go back and listen to that one. Now let's get to our stress relieving breathing exercises. Let's take a moment and take a deep breath. Inhale and exhale. What are we exhaling?
Anxiety.
All right, again, let's breathe in. Okay, and exhale.
Negative self-image.
One more time, let's take a deep breath. Inhale the oxygen, relax, and exhale.
Fear.
And we are now fearless.
Yes.
Thank you.
I love it.
All right, thank you so much. We're fearless because we know we have God. He's got our back, right?
Yes, all the time.
All right, thank you for joining us.
Bye, Janet.
All right, take care. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the interview. It was awesome.
Sure, yes. You've been listening to JanetFitBeautyStyle.com, a Janet Shields Scott podcast. I'm Janet Shields Scott. You can like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, and YouTube. For more fun and informative, and celebrity interviews, log on to janetfitbeautystyle.com, janetshieldsscott.com. Remember to love, laugh, and live your life with style.